Hi, so this will be my very first video on YouTube, and the reason why I am doing this is because I wanted to leave a review of Google Fi somewhere, and I found out that that is absolutely impossible. None of the apps or whatever website that you can use to review businesses have phone companies as an option. And I thought that was odd. Maybe I'm wrong, and you can let me know where I would be able to give them a review. But anyways, this became my solution. So I want to share my experience with Google Fi, which has been absolutely awful. I just got off the phone with someone from the support service. I have been on the phone with them for 1 hour and more than 40 minutes, which is a lot, but it's not the worst experience I've had with them. So, to give you an overview of what I've been dealing with, I changed from Mint Mobile to Google Fi, and it was partly because I've been recommended Google Fi from someone who lives in Irvine. I live in Irvine right now. And partly because they had this great offer where you could buy a Galaxy S22 if you changed to Google Fi. So I did. I bought the phone and I changed to Google Fi. But it didn't take that long before I started experiencing problems. People were texting me on social media saying, "Didn't you get my text? What's up? Why aren't you responding to whatever it was they were sending me?" Turned out that in the beginning there was only a couple numbers where I didn't receive the text, and they also didn't receive my text. Then it somehow evolved, and it wasn't only a couple of people, it was everybody who didn't receive my text or calls, and also the reverse where I didn't receive the text and calls. And so of course I contacted Google Fi immediately after I was told the first time that the person that I didn't respond to the person's text. And that went on for about a month. And I felt like I should at least give Google Fi the benefit of the doubt because I had bought such a cheap phone from them. So I did give Google Fi a lot of goodwill. But it didn't get solved, and by the end I was so fed up that I chose to leave Google Fi and go back to Mint Mobile. Now the problem was that I still got bills after that, and I emailed them, but I emailed them from a different email, and that was my fault. So they couldn't see what was wrong, and they sent me another bill after that, the month after that. And so I was on the phone with them right now to ask what this is about, because I had so many issues with them back then, a couple of months ago, and where I was guaranteed that I had now been deleted in the system, and that my plan got cancelled. Turns out when I was on the phone with the support today that it had not been cancelled. I was told that Google Fi was waiting for me to have my old number at Google Fi transferred to the other company before they could actually start billing me, which was not what I was being told on the phone when I had my plan cancelled more than 2 months ago. So I see multiple problems with the support service. The good part is that they are great at being available. The bad part is that they're not doing the job. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter how easy it is to get a hold of them when they're not doing their job. And the reason why I'm saying this is because every single time I get in contact with the support system, it's a new person who are dealing with my case. And back when I was still a customer at Google Fi, that meant that I would be asked over and over again, either by email or on the phone, to provide all the same information. That would be the IMEI number or what else. And I would constantly have to give them that information, which I got really fed up with. And that was when I finally decided to leave Google Fi. So I think that's the biggest issue that they have. That a new person every time has to deal with this, and so they don't really feel responsible for actually follow through with the case when they're on the phone with me. That also means that I have spent hours and hours, just today, as I said in the beginning of this video, I spent 1 hour and more than 40 minutes being on the phone with them. And in total, I spent hours and hours talking with customer service about my issue, because every single time this new person who comes in has to figure out what this case is about, and because it's apparently a little more complicated than the more general problems that they receive calls for, or that they're calling you for. Apparently it takes a long time for the new person every time to understand what the issue is about. Something else I want to mention is also that they in no way want to document what it is that they're promising over the phone. So I asked them this time if they could please email me stating whatever it was that they were promising me on the phone. The first person I talked with told me, "I'll email you now." So he emails me, and I wait for a long time for that email to show up, and in the meantime the connection gets cut off. He doesn't call me back right away. I don't know if that's something they have to do or not. I was told by the second person that they will have to call you back within 24 hours, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyways, I contact them again, because I don't receive the email. It takes a long time. And the second person I talk with doesn't want to send me the email. He's not willing to send me any email with any summary of what they've promised me this time around. I do receive an email from the first person, and of course it's not as specific as he was on the phone. It's not as specific in writing as it was when he was giving me the promise over the phone. The second person also lets me know when I want to. With the second person, I tell him, I inform him after we've been on the phone for a long time, I'm recording this now because I want some documentation. Then he tells me, I can't record anything. That's the policy of this. So it turns out that Google has this policy that all the documentation has to be on their end. They take notes in their system on my case. I'm not allowed to see those notes. I'm not allowed to have anything specific in writing from them. I'm not allowed to record anything from them. So in practice, that means that they can say whatever it is they want to say just to get rid of me when I'm on the phone with them. And To me, on my end, it seems that is a big reason for why I've had this dragging out like this, because they don't take responsibility. Each person doesn't take responsibility for whatever it is that you want to call in to complain about. So there you have it. My review of Google is that you should not sign up. The phone service is really bad. The coverage should be okay. It was checked by multiple people at Google Fi. The coverage in the environment where I live should be okay. And plus, I know the other person who recommended the Google Fi, I know that he doesn't experience the same problems. Plus, the customer service is absolutely horrible if you have an issue that's a little more complicated than the average issue that they're dealing with. Don't use Google Fi. That's all I'm saying.